Yo, welcome to Crossing the Lines with Mr. 411 and the Calculator. Today is October the 17th, 2024. I hope you're having a great day. Week 8 of the college football scene is shaping up to be a huge week. And what a week to have friendly wagers. Welcome, Calculator.
Greetings and salutations, Mr. 411. Hey, you couldn't have said it better. Last week was a doozy, no doubt about it. But this one, I mean, it's like it's like one of the it's like you get the sequels, the good sequels, like you had Terminator. Everybody, but everybody said the Terminator 2, the sequel's never better, but Terminator 2 was even better. So it's like one of those things that people, the conventional wisdom is sequels aren't better, but sometimes the sequel's better. And I think this week sequel to last week is even better. I mean, because we got matchups from, well, heck, even Friday night we got ranked teams
Yeah,
playing a couple of them, and then we got just Saturday, just game after game after. I mean, it's a we and I know on we gotta. We don't touch on all the big games on this show because we are here to make people money, and
right.
the key to making money, folks, is to get these off games while the bookmakers are so concentrated on what the public's going to bet on. Sometimes you can fill in with these little mid-major type teams and sprinkle them in while other people are banging the big games. But hey, this episode we did have a big one, but we'll save that for later in this episode as we'll go over that.
Yeah, man. I was like, wow, we finally got a big
Yeah.
game on the line.
Yeah.
So I can't wait. I can't
Yeah.
wait till we get to that segment. And there's various things I know. There's something else you're gonna talk about too. It's gonna be a return of someone special when we get to that game as well. So I can't wait for us to get
Mhm.
to it. But man, we got a slate of games calculator. So make sure everybody, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, the notification bell, and share because sharing is caring. Uh, Make big shout out to Surge TV for the simulcast. All right. Make sure you check us out on TikTok, Mr. 411, MisterFourOneOne. Same thing on Instagram. Make sure you follow us there as well. And again, going back to the YouTube page, make sure that you type in 411 Sports World Network and then follow us on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for us. Don't forget about the walk. It's coming up Saturday, October 19th. It will be held at Howard High School. You can go to www.411sportsworld.org and check everything out. Everything's there that you need to know about the Autism Awareness Fun Walk calculator. Let's get into some fun, man. What's going on Friday night, my man?
Friday Night Lights. Okay, hey, overall, last week, not a good week for the calculator. I'll admit it. But hey, you can't win every week, folks, because if this was so easy, everybody would do it. And let me tell you, when I was in Vegas, those establishments weren't building those buildings by losing money, folks. I just want to tell you right now. I mean, it's just some of the most amazing structures I've seen out there. So they weren't getting it from people winning all the time. So but we got to take the lumps. But sometimes you gotta embrace. You don't want to embrace loss. I mean, I embrace a loss in that it just gives you more information. And information is the key you have to use when making these friendly wagers. So hey, that was our first losing Friday night. But you know what? Hey, like the defensive cornerback in the NFL, what do they tell you? If you get burned, you go back out there. You forget it. I like to say Ted Lasso. He talks about the goldfish effect. You got to get it out of your head and you start over. So hey, I'm going to go back. Friday night has been good to us, and hey, there's another a great one. Oklahoma State at the BYU Cougars, folks. BYU Cougars are -9, but what caught my attention is when I was researching this game, it's like BYU is at home, folks. Home field advantage at altitude. BYU should take advantage of the opponent's team's fatigue caused by two factors: both travel and playing at an altitude of 4,500 feet in elevation. Folks, the elevation that Oklahoma State is used to, 900. That's a big difference, folks. This year, BYU has beaten teams at home this year by an average of 26.3 points per game. And folks, these weren't cupcakes that they were beating. These were two top teams in the top 25 in Kansas State and just Arizona recently. Oklahoma State, not good on the road. Hey, on the road, we talk about Kansas State. Kansas State beat Oklahoma State earlier this year while at Kansas State's home stadium at 42-20. BYU plays fundamental football. I'm going to throw a term out there for the people. It's called EPA. It's a metric that a lot of sharps use when they want to value a team's value. EPA is expected points added, which measures how a team's play affects on the likelihood of them scoring points. BYU, their ball control offense, timely passing, currently ranks 31st in rushing EPA, where Oklahoma State, on the flip side, in rushing defense, 69th in rushing EPA defense. Big difference. So what does that mean? That means BYU should be able to rush the ball and rush it successfully. Hey, okay, so say Oklahoma State, bunches up the line. BYU is 46 in EPA dropback. So per pass, top half of the country, right? Oklahoma State in pass dropback EPA defense, 88th, even worse. So they're like, hey, they're not going to have to be able to guard the line of scrimmage because they are weak in the secondary. Hey, and we didn't even talk about the BYU defense. Overall defense in all of college football, BYU currently ranks 14th overall. So we're throwing EPA. We're just going to say what's BYU's overall? 14th. That is phenomenal. So you say, calculator. Oklahoma State beat BYU just last year, 40-34, and Oklahoma State's coming off a bye. Mike Gundy's awesome off of a bye week, and you know what? That's when he had these powerful Oklahoma State teams. This Oklahoma State team is not built like his other teams, folks. So I'm going to get the better offense. I'm getting the better defense. I'm getting a home team playing at 4,500 feet in altitude on a Friday night. At that, oh man. BYU is going to be fired up. They're going to be hey, you don't have much to do in Provo, Utah on a Friday night. So if you can go to a football, go to a football. Take it from me. But yeah, I think, hey, as long and it's under that key number of 10, folks. This one's been all around ping pong at 9.5. It went down to 7, and I wish I'd have had this at 7.5. Moved right back up to 9. And I think and then I did see when it went up to 9.5 recently, it paused, and that's a good key indicator. The bookmakers are refusing to go to team because they're scared there's going to be a big buyback. So what they're doing is at 9.5 and stuff, instead, if people keep pounding BYU, instead of raising it up to 10, the books are actually going to charge more vig on the process. So like plus 130, plus 140, because they don't want to hit that key number of 10. So I feel kind of safe because the books are thinking it's going to be under 10. So I got the 9. So if it's right under 10 and I get the 9, at least I get a push. But hey, I just feel good about this BYU, and I think a 10 is going to be a push because this has a 30-20 type, and I think it's going to be at 30-13, and then Oklahoma State gets that late touchdown to get it at that value. So, but yeah, I feel very confident. BYU plays so great at home. And a lot of times at home they play better than even the numbers suggest. So that's why I feel pretty good at 9. And so I'm going to take the Cougars at -9 on the Friday Night Lights.
All right, Fry Daddy.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I had a flashback.
Yeah, man. Yes, sir. Fry Daddy's pick. All right, so take the BYU Cougars 9.5. I mean 9. Excuse me. And guess what, calculator? BYU's been having a great season so far.
Undefeated.
One of those teams under the radar, man. They're undefeated. Yep. They continue to win. People are still doubting them. But if they keep winning, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna mess around and have a chance to be in that college football playoff. So keep an eye on BYU.
And not only have they been winning for one, they've been covering even when they're favored. They've had two. There've been two instances where they were dogs and they did straight up covers. Not only covered by 2 touchdowns at that. So that not only were they doing the straight up wins, they were covering doing it by the margin. So yeah, they've been very surprising and very effective. And I know it's taken the calculator a little bit longer to believe. So, but I'm going to believe. I'm going to put my money in that belief this weekend.
Absolutely. That's what we want to hear right there. Hear that money rolling, calculator.
Yes,
all right, man. Game 2, man. We're already up and cooking, man. I mean, man, this game right here probably hits the
big win. Epic win.
Folks, there is a term in the business world called a cash cow. What is a cash cow? It is a basic thing. You don't have to put any more money in it. It just brings you cash. And folks, we've been riding that Indiana train. Yes, we got on a little late, but we got on early enough that they've been paying off and all. I mean, we've been betting them every week. Oh, why didn't we bet them last week? They were off last week. So, unfortunately, that was one of the reasons hey, if they were on with the Vegas is still trying to catch up with this Indiana team. But yeah, the Cornhuskers are going to Indiana. Indiana is literally top 5 in every offensive metric, whereas Nebraska, their opponent this year, middle of the road in all those offensive metrics. Indiana's defense, they're in the middle of the road on defense. However, a lot of their statistics are accrued due to their offense being so good. Their defense is constantly on the field, and other teams are playing in catch-up mode and getting all those garbage that I think is kind of inflating or undervaluing what Indiana's defense can do. Hey. And Nebraska, I looked at their schedule. They have had literally one road game up to this game, up to this point this year, and it was against the Big Ten bottom dweller, Purdue. So they've been able to protect their young quarterback, their freshman quarterback. Well, hey, been phenomenal, although he took his lumps at home against that tough, rugged Rutgers defense. It showed a blueprint. If you get in his face, if you blitz him time after time, he is prone to make mistakes. Well, guess what? This is going to be on the road, and Indiana is going to be fired up, folks. I think Raiola having to play catch up to that explosive Indiana Hoosiers offense is what's going to cause problems for the Nebraska offense, cause turnovers, which will put allow that offense more chances, more possessions, which means more points. So, folks, and another thing is, without that, I was going to take this number, but there was another little nugget. Special teams, folks. We don't talk enough about special teams, but they got to be at least worth 3 or 4 points if there's such a big discrepancy. Well, Nebraska is in the hundreds on overall special teams. I think it was 103 was the last time I checked. Indiana top 25 in overall special teams, and folks. It's under that key number of 7. As long as we get under that touchdown, that matters. Take the 6.5. Stay on the train. Hey, Indiana's been good to yours truly, and from me to you, let's trust in the Hoosiers. I know they got some big matchups coming up later down the road, but they are not looking ahead. You even mentioned the coach in our last broadcast 2 weeks ago when we did it, Sigeti. The guy's phenomenal. He knows how to coach. That Ohio transfer quarterback is playing phenomenal. Hey, I love the chance for Indiana to cover. So, hey, take the Hoosiers, take the cash cow, and watch them cash again this weekend.
That's right. Take those Hoosiers, man. They are on a roll. And like you said, that coach, man, he was just quoted the other day.
Yeah.
People were questioning him and talking about, how are you getting it done? This and that, what should we expect? And he said, hey, I just win. Everywhere I go, I win.
And let me tell you, I want my man, everybody knows I'm a Florida State fan, right? I want my man, Mark Novell. Look at what Sigeti's been doing in the transfer portal, because he turned that team from losing. They won 3 games last year, and now they're undefeated at this point. Actually, got a chance at getting in the national title. Now, granted, they hadn't played the Ohio States, they hadn't played the Oregons, but hey, what they have played, they've overcome adversity like that. When they played that Maryland game, they had 4 turnovers and still covered that number. So that's what I'm saying. And Indiana at home. Now, if this was in Nebraska, then of course the spread wouldn't be 6.5. It'd almost be around 3, 2.5, 3. So then I'd still take Indiana, because Indiana, in my opinion, is the better team with the more explosive offense, and I think that's why they can easily cover the 6.5.
Oh yeah, man, roll with those Hoosiers, man. Shout out to Harold Hatcher. He says outstanding commentary.
Yes, sir.
And I agree, Harold Hatcher. Because the calculator, man, he always brings it, man. But big shout out there to Harold Hatcher, man. And matter of fact, people check him out later on today. That's why you have to hit that subscribe button. Harold Hatcher, he's already in the studio. And man, he loves some fries too, calculator. So whenever you out there frying them up,
I'll think of Mr. Hatcher.
Think of Mr. Hatcher. He may even come find you. So you may have to drop a location.
There
I'll
you
get you guys connected, okay?
go. I
Because
got you.
don't because you know how it works.
Yep.
Calculator fries, man, they smell
Oh
so
yeah.
good. You have
Yeah,
to,
that's right.
something in the air, and it's just, just
And you know what that means?
Oh yes, that's what the fries do, and that's what this line. And I'll tell you what makes this a smelly line. It just threw me for a loop, and that's why I had to investigate because it just popped off. And folks, the Auburn Tigers at Missouri, or the Auburn Tigers at the Missouri Tiger versus Tigers are going to win this matchup right there. The Tigers are going to be at 12 o'clock. We got in conjunction. Let me tell you something. I don't know what I've missed. And when this makes us a smelly line, folks, this opened up. Missouri was was a full. As soon as it opened up, it was Missouri -7, and then every sharp, every wise guy, boom. And this could kind of have me pause. Bet Auburn. I mean, Auburn took so much money, and that thing shot down to 4.5. And what have I missed? I started looking at Auburn. I said, Auburn's 2-4.
yeah.
Are they good? I mean, and folks, their 2 wins this year for Auburn, New Mexico, and A&M. Oh, wait, I got what? Alabama A&M, Mr. Four, not Texas A&M, not the same Texas A&M that beat boat race Missouri. No, this was Alabama A&M, folks. Don't get all excited on me. So hey, Auburn has lost every one of their losses by at least a touchdown or more, and folks, 3 of those were at home. Hey, all I hear from the Barners out there is the stats tell a different story, folks. They said the stats, Auburn's a better team. Well, you know what? I love the quote by Mike Tomlin, Steelers coach. Quote of the year, folks. He says, "Stats are for losers. They are comfort food that make you feel good when you lose, folks." I'm telling you, that is the greatest quote ever, and I'm going to take it to this game. And you know what, Mr. Tomlin, for this game, I agree. Hey, we're going to go through our famous checklist. We haven't gone through a checklist in a while, Mr.
Oh yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready,
all right,
Calculator.
all right. So who has the better quarterback? You got to go with Missouri, right? I mean, hey, Dr. Sachs will tell you so. Check. All right, better skill positions, guys. We got an NFL guy or a wide receiver going to the NFL, right? In Missouri. So hey, they got the skill player position. Right? I don't even know who in that secondary is going to be able to cover. I'm glad to get that. Now, yes, better front seven. I'll give Auburn. I'll give them the edge in that, right? You know what? Better secondary. It's Missouri by a mile. So that's what I'm saying. The home field, home field. Where are we playing it? At Missouri. Check. So we got a lot of check marks, and we got under a touchdown. So hey, and then the Barners come after him. I'm going to say, well, Auburn. What if they don't turn the ball over? Folks. You can say that, but you have a quarterback that has 6 interceptions in 5 home games, and they're playing a defense that is top 25 in total takeaways. Good luck with that argument, folks. Hey, I believe Missouri covers the number even without getting a turnover because I think the Cook-Burden connection will be putting up points every time they have a possession, even if it's field goals. And that turnover is what's going to put this over the 4.5. So, hey, I think the opening line was correct at 7, made me pause. But as soon as it hit down to 4.5, I said, I'm going to get it in while the getting's good. So yeah, I'm fading I'm fading the wise guys and the sharps at my own risk. But hey, I got to go with my checklist. I got to go with what I've seen because I've seen on the fields too. Stats are for losers, folks. I'm taking the Tigers in this one.
Absolutely. And what a quote there by Tomlin. He's full of them, man. I love when he's interviewed because he's going to say something, whether it's halftime, in the games, during the week. It's Tomlin, man. So if you're taking quotes from Tomlin Calculator, you're doing right. You're doing right. Hey, man, ESPN plus in our near future. What you got, man?
Hey, that's right. You know we got to get one of these. I told you at the beginning of the broadcast. It's these type of games that, if you can find an edge, take advantage of it. The Texas Bobcats minus 10.5 at the Old Dominion Monarchs, folks. The Sun Belt is the fun belt when you have a friendly wager on it, folks. Hey, I had to get a game in to fill the void because, as you see, we have a bunch of noon games and we have some 7:30 games and we even have a 10:30 game. So, hey, instead of taking a nap, I wanted to get another game in there to keep people up and interested. So, hey, Old Dominion only has 2 wins this year. Both of them, though, were aided in having a turnover in their favor. Texas State, very good at limiting turnovers. So, hey, Texas State's quarterback transfer, Jordan McLeod, just happened to be a Sunbelt Player of the Year last year with the Sunbelt powerhouse, James Madison. Very rare that you have an in-conference transfer. But, hey, Texas State isn't arguing because he's been phenomenal this year. Old Dominion,
Right.
we're gonna go into trends. Old Dominion, 3-10 against the spread in their last 13 home games. Folks, that's 23.1%. Also, a nice little factoid. Teams, in general, coming off a conference win, which Old Dominion did last week, and then listed as a 10-point underdog in a conference game the very next week, 48-85 against the spread. That's 34.1%. That is a big fade on Old Dominion, right?
Yeah!
Yes. Hey, we'll just go to matchups. I'll put another one out there. Texas State, number 12 in the country in yards per game. Old Dominion defense, 108 in yards per play defense. That folks, that's a big difference. Stark difference, right? Okay, explosive plays. Texas State, number 41 in the nation. Old Dominion in explosive play defense, 114. Folks, there's only 129 FCS schools, so that shows you how close they are to the bottom of that. So big stark difference in that. Hey, let me tell you, Texas State has shown throughout this year also that when they win, they can win by margin. They are a perfect 3-0 against the spread this year when laying double digits. Hey, the hook does give me pause. So, but when trends like I just spoke, the fade on Old Dominion based on the statistical things that have happened in the past, and then the trends of the matchup favoring Texas State in such a way that there's just a huge discrepancy. I don't mind covering the low double digits. I'd go all the way up to the key number of 13. So as long as it's anything under 13, I feel confident laying it and taking the Texas State Bobcats.
Okay, Texas State it is. Yeah, man, they're an explosive team, man, and they just came in making noise, man. And yeah, Texas State, that's a team that's going to be around. It's going to be reckoned with over the next couple seasons. They got a nice program, nice things cooking over there, and a great state to be in too, as far as talent. All right, calculator. Let's get into, since you're talking about Texas State, you might as well stay in the state of Texas.
That's
just
right.
Move up north a little bit.
I go to the mean green, folks, at the Memphis Tigers. Hey, Memphis Tigers, one of those teams they're talking about those at non-power conference bids. Memphis has been doing good, only one loss. But, folks, the North Texas mean green, they got this offense that will keep them competitive, in my opinion, regardless of opponent. Yes, Memphis has shown flashes of good defense against a pair of 2-5 teams in the University of South Florida and Middle Tennessee State University, but showed they can be had when they gave up a 56 burger to a Navy team. You may say, calculator. Navy runs a different offense. That shouldn't count. But, folks, Navy still passed a couple times when they had to and was very successful. That showed me that secondary can be had. Listen, I think Memphis defense will do enough stops to win the game. But, folks, I'm getting those double digits, and I love double digits because you got outs that you can get. I know those people that watch this that play poker, you always talk about outs. A lot of times when you're sitting on that flush draw, there's a lot of outs to flush draw that you can beat somebody sitting on trips or somebody that's beating on the 2 pair. You got outs, and that's what I want when I got a team that has an explosive offense of the North Texas Mean Green. And what do you mean by that? The outs. Okay, this could go one of 2 ways, in my opinion. It's going to be a back and forth affair. What does that mean? It's going to be a close game. That's under 11.5. Okay, Well, hey, let's say Memphis does get a little bit of lead going to the fourth quarter. Well, we did like Michigan State did for us last time. We get those garbage points at the end of the game to get it up under the 11.5. And when I'm talking garbage points, I want a team that North Texas Mean Green that can score and score a bunch in Texas. So yes, the backdoor cover is wide open in this type of game. So hey, I'm going to take the Mean Green, and I'm taking the double digits of 11.5.
All right, take the North Texas Mean Green. Man, 11.5 too. All right, I like that one, calculator. I like it.
Anytime you have a high-powered offense and you're getting double digits, like I said in poker, you have outs and you play the percentages, and I'm playing the percentages in this one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, man, calculator. We're gonna get into a prime time matchup, if you will.
ABC prime time, folks.
But before we do that, calculator, there's a return of someone special that I know you want to talk about.
Yeah. Oh my, where did this come from? We brought it out of the
archives, man.
Got it in the hey, we always archive the good stuff on this show, folks, courtesy of the Coles Distribution Center, folks. Yes, folks. The Georgia, this right there lets you know we Georgia Bulldogs made the show, and you know why? Why? Because when is the last time Georgia has been an underdog going into the team, folks? Georgia has lost 2 games in the past 3 years, and heck, it's only been to one team. Well, this ain't the team they've lost to, folks. Yes. Hey, I don't care how impressive the Longhorns have looked. They have not faced a team this year so far that has an offense like UGA. Yes, they're big wins. What are their big wins this year? Michigan. That's not a good offense. Big win against Oklahoma, Red River Rapids. Hey, you think that team has a good offense? Come on. They hadn't had a good finish since they benched their quarterback. No. This team has not faced an offense, so now I think Texas is going to get some adversity. I want to see what they do. Listen, Georgia this year has not looked like the Georgia of the last 3 years, folks, but hey, they still got an elite offense. They still got Kirby Smart calling the defensive plays, and these guys, I think he's going to hold up that Vegas sheet showing that Texas is a 5-point favorite, and he's going to have those jokers fired up. Hey, Georgia is used to big games. They've did the year in, year out, national championship games. Hey, as long as it's not Alabama, but if I'm Georgia and I'm getting points and Alabama's not on the other side, I feel good. Folks, take the point. Oh, yeah, and not only that, it's 5 points up to this. Folks, it opened up at 3.5. And you know what? There's been a couple of people out there in Vegas. I'm not going to name names, but there's a couple big guys that have been given behind the paywall that is given Texas as their pick. I'm going against them. Okay, no, I'm not a homer. I'm wearing a Florida State jersey for crying out loud. So I'm just going to take the value. And when I can take Georgia and I get over a field, hey, I would have taken it at 3.5, but I waited. I bided my time because as soon as it went to 3.5, I saw it hit the 4. And I said, okay, that was an early move to 4. So I said, hey, I'm just going to buy my team. And as soon as it got to 5, boom, I lay it. Not only that, there's some books out there you can take 5 points and get it at plus 100, meaning you don't even have to play the VIG. People are almost begging you to take Georgia in this game. Now, Hey, that could be in the Smelly line. That could, but I just don't see it. I just don't see it, Mr. 4-1. Because I think what avoids the Smelly line is a lot of people are seeing what Texas has done up to this point, folks. But I'm telling you, those games against University of Louisiana Monroe, and all the UTSA, Texas San Antonio, folks, this is a different monster. So, hey, I think kind of like Tennessee welcomed Oklahoma to the SEC. I think Georgia's going to do the same to Texas and say, hey, welcome to the SEC.
All right. So you heard from the calculator. Man, I don't know. Last time Georgia was this much of an underdog.
That's what I'm saying. Like I said, I almost clicked the button at 3.5. But when I saw that line move within 30 minutes of opening the 4, I said, oh, but that's when I had to go and look. I said, what moved it? And then because what you want to see is the public coming early or is it the wise guys? And it was the wise guys moving this up. So another one, I'm going against the sharps with this. But hey, I went against the Sharps before and been successful. So, you're not always going to be successful going against the Sharps. They're Sharps for a reason. But every now and then something makes me feel that something's going wrong. And it could be line manipulation as well. Sometimes you got to say, is this a line manipulation or is this people really thinking that Texas is 5 points better than Georgia? So, yeah, I'm going to take my Bulldogs in this one.
All right. Take UGA. Take UGA in the primetime matchup. And one more time, calculator, because we may not see it again. for a
Folks,
long time. So we're gonna put it on
that,
here now since you picked the
that
Bulldogs to be on
that
the
was
one the sheet
that
script
was click the
found me this
year
week.
that they won their first year in the national championship undefeated. So folks, it's tried and true. So we're going to ride her to another victory. We wish her best. We thank her for the luck, and hopefully it can continue.
All right, all right. Hey, what's up? Winchester's out here. Jesse Winchester. All right, couple questions. He has a couple questions for us too. Uh, Go ahead and shoot with the questions, my guy.
Yeah, yeah.
You go ahead and shoot with your question. Post it out here, and you do that for us. And in the meantime, Calculator's going to jump on this next matchup while you
Yeah,
get your question
get
together.
that question ready, folks, and yeah, because even though we don't, actually put a game out there, I can try to analyze on the spot on what I think. So anytime you have a question, definitely fire it. But yeah, the 10:30 night game, folks. Hey, the guessing game's over, folks. That's right. Cam Rising is out for the season. So you might say, time to fade Utah. We know Cam Rising's not playing. Hey, I'm going opposite, folks. Now that backup Isaac Wilson will be able to play without looking over his shoulder, without the fear of being yanked due to a mistake, he's going to be able to play to his strengths. He's going to be dumping off the ball. He's going to run the ball, run it when he gets in trouble. But folks, the main reason I'm back in Utah, another team where they're at home, at elevation. I mean, and folks, they got NFL players on that defense still, folks. And you get them on a night game, they're going, hey, TCU's got to, I mean, it's not full cross country, but it's halfway across the country. That TCU's still going to be on Central Time when they're playing the Utah at 10:30 at night, folks. That's to be their bedtime for some people. Well, maybe not college folks, but yours truly. I usually go to bed at 12:30 on night. Well, see, 10:30 be 11:30 my time. But regardless, a lot of people get sleepy at that time on the East Coast. But hey, this is a perfect bounce back game for Utah. It's under a touchdown. I mean, if you'd have bet this, tried to bet this, those look-align lines 3 weeks ago, this would have been a full 10, 12, maybe 2 touchdowns. But hey, coming all the way down to 4.5. But I really like that Cam Rising. It's definite. We don't have to worry about the Cam. We know he's out for the year, and I think Isaac Wilson's going to step up. Similar to what he did in that Oklahoma State game. So yeah, I like it. I like giving up only 4.5. But you need to click now, folks, because I have a feeling as more and more time goes on, this could start creeping up when people really start looking at this game.
All right, you better do it. Better hurry up. You heard it right here from the Calculator. Right now, get out there and get that pick before the line moves again. Calculator selects the Utah Utes in this one. And
So
Cam Rising, man.
I
And
mean,
Calculator, big shout out to the quarterback, man. He's going to be around he's going to get another
year
season
eligibility, probably. He'll be able to start drawing 401k money, man.
Oh,
If he keeps
man.
playing in college, it's like, wow.
Yeah. I mean, he gonna be around for and then imagine. Well, we're gonna let him. We just let him play as long as he can. How about that?
Yeah.
All right. He's having some long career. There's no need for him to even think about NFL. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? This is his NFL.
That's right.
All right. So, calculator. We do have a question, but we're gonna post that question in just a minute. But before we do that, speaking of questions, you have one for me, don't you?
Yeah. As always, we need to ask Mr. 401 the 3 things he believes in.
Wow. All right, calculator. You know the first thing Mr. 41 believes in. You know Mr. 41 believes in the man upstairs. Look at this image, man. Just a beautiful image right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you what, man, without the man upstairs, man, none of this would be possible. I mean, think about the connections made over time. How just how we and you intersected, right? And
That's
look
right.
at us today, all these years later. Uh, have no one to thank but the man upstairs. And guess what? Again, another week of crossing the lines means another week closer to not only my son's birthday, and by the way, today's my dad's birthday. So big
Oh,
shout out to my dad. Happy birthday to Mr. 401 Senior
senior. There
right
we go.
there. Mr. 401 Senior. Happy birthday, Dad. And but we're gonna go right back. Okay,
Oh,
old Saint Nick.
he's making a list, folks. He's already making the list. He won't start checking it twice till a few weeks from now, but he's already starting to make the list.
That's right. So that's the second thing Mr. 401 believes in. And then to round it off, calculator, and you know this already,
Oh yeah,
but Mr. 401 believes in Dr. Sachs and Dr. Sachs' algorithm. And
that's
so I know
right.
he's provided us with the algorithm pick of the week. and I can't wait to find out what it is, calculator.
But me and him actually had a bright. We always trying to, and we throw ideas around. I say, hey, these are some games I'm thinking about. I like to pick his brain, and he'll pick my brain as well. But I really like this algorithm. It almost made the show, but the line even moved after I talked to Saxon. It's the Iowa Hawkeyes, folks. It was at 6.5. It was at 6 when me and Dr. Sachs was talking, but as our production meeting was coming together, it had moved to 5.5, folks. Yes, the algorithm sees Iowa has been on the road for 3 out of their 4 games. That was a negative in the model, but they also shows that their particular opponent, Michigan State, and their pedestrian offense plays right into the style that Iowa loves to play, the bow constrictor style, the ones that kind of squeeze you, and then it gets tighter and tighter. And then what are they going to do? They're going to just pound their running back into the line time after time, folks. The model looks at the turnover-prone Spartans, going to help Iowa's defense again be able to play ahead of the sticks, allow Caleb Johnson more and more carries, because Michigan State doesn't have the offense that's going to force Iowa to play to have to throw the ball. So I'm telling you, Michigan State's style of play is why the model really likes. And the algorithm is just spitting out numbers showing this to be over a touchdown. So yeah, I really like the Iowa Hawkeyes, and now that's 5.5. I hate this might even move to 5, but hey, the model doesn't care. The model. Hey, the one thing numbers, we talk about stats, but there are underlying stats that do matter. And this particular matchup is a thing that favors Iowa in a way that's why the algorithm picked it out. And that's why I trust the algorithm in this one. So yeah, take your Iowa Hawkeyes minus the 5.5.
All right, there it is. We thank Dr. Sachs for once again providing us the secret there out of the algorithm, which he always has working, man. So,
Yeah,
and I'm glad you're able to
always
reach him,
working.
Cal.
That's always, but like I said, it takes the losses because, and I'll give Iowa credit. I mean, you want to talk about quality losses? The only 2 losses they've had is to a top 5 Ohio State and an undefeated Iowa State, and actually almost had a chance to should have beat Iowa State. Iowa State had to pick that 50-yard touchdown, but hey, calculator's not worried about that one because that one paid me some big money on the money line at halftime, so I ain't worried about that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, there it is. The real algorithm take Iowa, and you'll be good to go. All right, Jesse Winchester. Before we get out of here, Jesse, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate you subscribing and following and doing all those things and sharing 41 Sports World Network page. We definitely appreciate that. Get about 1,000 of your friends to do that as
That's right.
well over the next couple of days, and we'll definitely appreciate that. And we'll keep the fantasy football stuff rolling too. If they all come on, jump on in. Okay. Now look, here's a question here, calculator from Jesse Winchester, and I let you kind of look over it while I just give a little spiel here that we do have a fantasy football show that airs on Tuesdays on the 41 Sports World Network, and yours truly and the calculator are on that show. And calculator is 24 hours, 7 days a week, just rolling in fantasy because he's in like 30 leagues. So he's willing to share that information. So calculator, there you go. Here's the scenario from Jesse.
Okay, I'm looking to package a wide receiver or 2. Hey, if you're going to give up 2 wide receivers, I would not give up London. I would not give up Godwin. Cup is coming back, and if you could get away with a Cup Addison for A Chain, I would do that. Like I said, I just because A Chain is so dependent on Tua coming back, and we still don't know if Tua is coming back. So
Right.
you can't give up a Godwin or a London because those guys are going to be. I mean, especially when Olave's hurt, so you got to fill that void. Cup's coming back and could give you value just by a name. You might want to let Coop or Cup play because the Cup is supposed to play this weekend. Let him put up some scores and then see if that could get you a chain. Of course, I might have to say we don't even know if A-Chain is still in concussion protocol. He hadn't been cleared to play. So if you really want A-Chain, a Cup, and you could do a Cup Addison or a Cup Thomas Jr. Because I have a feeling the person is not going to take Olave, with Olave being in concussion protocol and being out for possibly 2 weeks. So you got to look at not only what you're willing to give up, but you got to think of what that other person would take. But I think Cup and a Thomas Jr. or a Cup and an Addison, and you might want to wait after this weekend. I think Thomas Jr. is going to have a big game this weekend against that New England secondary, so that would add value to his name. So yeah, that's what I would take. And Addison, he might have good value right now because I think a lot of people might up his value from the mere fact that he's already had his bye week, so he can cover a lot of people with big bye weeks coming up ahead. So, but yeah, I would do the Cup with a Cup Thomas Jr. or a Cup Addison for A-Chain.
All right. We hope that helps you there, Jesse. And we thank you for your question. Again, keep them rolling, man. You check out our fantasy football shows out there on this Former Sports Network. You post them in the comment section, and we'll be out there. We'll answer them. So
Yeah,
put them out there, and we'll answer.
and if you get him in on live on the show on Tuesday, then we have Lacey on that sometimes, and even if we can get
Larry,
returning champ Larry every time, he can come in, see if he can get their insights too. So that's why we like to get those during the fantasy football to get other insights as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we appreciate it. And Calculator, I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely.
Another strong week here of crossing the line CTL and our friendly wagers, and the return of the Georgia Bulldog cheerleader.
That's right.
All right.
I know there's a few subscribers that are kind of probably fill out their chair when they saw the future return. So yeah, it was great to have them back.
Yeah, and hey, we got about 3 more minutes, and he has one more. He also wondering if I should flex Chubb,
Thomas Jr.
or Addison this week.
I already said Thomas Jr. because even though Addison, decent week, and he could do good, but Thomas Jr. in my opinion has taken over the alpha role, and they could be in for a shootout. Who would have thought a shootout against the New England Patriots?
Yeah,
with Eric May chucking the ball, they could be in, and the secondary. They got a lot of defensive injuries, so that's why I think Thomas Jr. is going to have a big week this week. So yeah, definitely put him in your flex position.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. We appreciate it, man. Like I said, I told you, we'll answer your questions, man. Mm-hmm. Make sure you go out there on the page too and post on the Former Sports Network on YouTube. And when we get the updates, we'll answer them right then and there too. So definitely appreciate that. Calculator, appreciate you being on once again for another week of CTL crossing the lines. And hope everybody enjoys this week of the football action. We do have the college football review show called Triple Option on Sundays. This week's episode will be at 10 a.m. So we will be reviewing a lot of the major matchups, a lot of the matchups for that week of college football. Got a panel of people out there for that. Calculator, he tunes in for that as well.
Oh yeah,
and he picks up a lot of nuggets from a lot of people on that show. And so yeah, look forward to that as well. Okay, Harold Hatcher's coming up soon too on the network tonight. He's going to dive into the SIAC conference. I can't wait for that information as well. He's very passionate about it and knows his stuff, man. So it's going to be a great episode. All right. Calculator. Closing remarks, and then we go.
Hey, closing mark is enjoy the wonderful slate of games, man. So I really like I like the games this week. So just enjoy, and and if it's another losing week, we apologize. But you know what? We get more winners than losers. So that's all we're trying to do right here.
That's it. All right, man. We did it, man. All underneath the window, so I don't have to pay no extra money. All right, and then Thomas Jr. is a beast, man. So great job picking up Thomas Jr., man, because he's going to be a very good receiver, man. He's going to be very, very good. And then you have Bowers. So, you got Bowers too, man. Come on, man. You cooking, man. We may have to invite you to the listener league so you can join in the listener league next season. Get at us on Monday, man. Get at us on Monday, Jesse.
Yeah.
I mean on Tuesday. Get at us on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, for the calculator, I'm 4-1. We thank everybody. Bo, get ready.
Yeah.
Let's here come your tune. We out of here.
See ya.